What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $1,400 to $2,000 third stimulus check update. If you notice, I have a guest star here. This is Lily. Lily, what are you doing? And there may or may not be somebody else hiding behind me who is entertaining Lily for so she will appear on the camera. But yeah, we got a lot of big news right now. The Senate passed a motion on reconciliation. I'm going to give you guys the details on that so you're getting the real truth story on that, what that actually means. We're also going to hear from Senator Bernie Sanders on the third stimulus check package, when we should expect it, and a lot of details right there. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates on the third stimulus check, mortgage and rental assistance, and all the other good things we cover, like Social Security increases, student loan forgiveness, which we have not had an update on recently. So that's why I haven't brought you guys anything new. Everything new has been on the third stimulus check package. And give this video a like. It really helps out our channel. First of all, I want to say that people are still getting their second stimulus checks literally right now. People are getting direct deposits, and most people are getting checks and debit cards in the mail. So please make sure, if you haven't got your second stimulus check, a presidential executive order by President Biden is reissuing second stimulus checks to people who haven't gotten theirs yet. The best thing to do is to check the IRS Get My Payment tool. Just go to Google after this video and type in IRS Get My Payment and log into the Get My Payment and see the current status on your check. A lot of your guys' Get My Payment tool statuses will have been updated with the newest information. So even if you were expecting a direct deposit, you actually might get a check or a debit card in the mail. So remember, it will come from the Treasury with a white envelope and it say Treasury on it. It's a very similar seal to my reconciliation card. It'll have a seal like that on the envelope. Don't throw it away, because your stimulus check or debit card could be in there, even if you're supposed to get direct deposit. Next up, the Senate passed a reconciliation motion or procedure. Yeah, this is not the third stimulus check package. It has not been passed. Okay, that has to go to the House and the Senate, and then they're going to do it with the reconciliation card if they haven't passed it with Republican support. Let me show you what happened. This is very important because I want to make sure you guys are getting the correct information. Senate vote clears path for Biden's stimulus plan to be pushed through with reconciliation. While President Biden continues to discuss a stimulus deal with Republicans, as we've reported on this channel, Democrats are readying a procedure that would allow them to pass much of the legislation without the Republican votes. The procedure is the reconciliation procedure. The Senate passed a procedural motion with a 50 to 49 vote. So again, this exactly what happened, what we thought would happen is what happened. 50 Democrats voted for it. 49 Republicans said no. One of them didn't vote. So they passed it because you didn't need 60 votes for this procedural motion. So again, the Senate passed a procedural motion, 50 to 49, to move forward with the budget resolution, clearing the way for passing many provisions, including President Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package, through reconciliation on Tuesday. So they passed this motion yesterday. This is basically a motion to start the process of the reconciliation rule or procedure or a reconciliation card that they're going to eventually use. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says, quote, Joe Biden is totally on board with using reconciliation. I've been talking to him every day. Our staffs have been talking multiple times per day. The reconciliation process is a budget rule that would allow Democrats to pass the next stimulus package or some relief provisions with a simple majority of 51 votes and would not require support from GOP senators. This is what we've been saying. Both House and Senate budget committees would write the budget resolution, aka the stimulus package. The Senate has limited time to debate it, and there's no filibuster once that process ends. The filibuster is the rule that requires 60 votes. So the reconciliation rule gets us around that. But in a 50-50 Senate, Democrats need all their votes to pass the reconciliation bill, plus the tie-breaking vote of Vice President Kamala Harris. Senator Joe Manchin voted with the Democrats yesterday. Quote, "I will vote to move forward with the budget process because we must address the urgency of the COVID-19 process," Senator Joe Manchin said in a statement yesterday. But let me be clear, these are the words I shared with President Biden. Our focus must be targeted on the COVID-19 crisis and Americans who are most impacted by this pandemic. So, again, to be clear here, the Senate passed a procedural motion, 50-49, to move forward with the reconciliation process, basically. So, basically, the Senate passed this kind of first motion that it basically starts the wheels moving on the process of reconciliation. The reconciliation process is a little more detailed. It's not as simple as yes in the House, yes in the Senate. Although we are going to have votes in the House and the Senate, they're preparing the paperwork and the procedures that need to go along with that to be able to pass this bill with just the 51 votes in the Senate, which is what we're expecting right now as the Republicans are basically not on board. They want to spend less than 1/3 of the amount that the Democrats do. They want to spend $618 billion, and Joe Biden and President Joe Biden and the Democrats are wanting to spend $1.9 trillion with $1,400 checks that are plus up. They add to your $600 check to equal a $2,000 total stimulus check for the second and third combined. Now, there's lots of Democrats pushing to make larger stimulus checks, $2,000 on top of the $600 for a total of $2,600. There's also over 50 Democrats pushing for monthly stimulus checks. And we also have Republicans saying that's way too much. We think $1,400 is too much. The Republican proposal is $1,000 stimulus checks, although the Republicans have very little to no power because the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. I hope that's pretty much as clear as I think I can get it. They have not passed the bill yet, although the wheels are in motion to do that. They are probably going to pass this without any Republican support at this point. Unless Republicans come on board, they're going to just pass it through the reconciliation card. So wheels are in motion. This could happen. I'm not sure how fast this could happen, honestly, because the reconciliation process is not a process that's used every day. And basically, the wheels are in motion to pass the reconciliation process soon. They've already written the bill. They're writing the reconciliation process legislator right now. And basically, we're going to have breaking news every day as they're coming out with new information, and we could have a vote any day now. Next up, let's go directly to the Senate floor so we can hear directly from Senator Bernie Sanders, who is the Senate Budget Chairman. He is the person in charge of the reconciliation cards. He's the one in charge of the reconciliation rule. That is the Senate Budget Chairman. We're going to hear from Bernie Sanders directly, and this is a hot one. Oh, and by the way, in this speech, when you hear them say budget resolution, just think stimulus package. It's another way of saying stimulus package, but they're wording it now budget resolution a lot of times because reconciliation process is for budget resolution. So budget resolution equals stimulus package, okay?
Mr. President, let us be clear and let us in the Senate understand what the American people know all too well. And that is that our country is currently experiencing the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression and the worst public health emergency in over 100 years. Over half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, including millions of essential workers who put their lives on the line each and every day. The wealthiest people in America are becoming much wealthier, and income and wealth inequality, a long-time problem, is now soaring. Incredibly, while families throughout the country are struggling to put food on the table to feed their kids, during this pandemic, 660 billionaires, not a whole lot of people, have increased their wealth by over $1 trillion. The budget resolution we are debating today is simple and it is straightforward. It will enable us to pass President Biden's $1.9 trillion emergency COVID relief plan through reconciliation with 51 votes instead of 60. Now, Mr. President, I have heard from some of my Republican colleagues who tell us that, well, this reconciliation concept, that's a radical idea. Why are you using reconciliation? And they're telling us that it is absolutely imperative that we go forward in a bipartisan way and require 60 votes for passage. But I must say that when Republicans used this same reconciliation process, Mr. President, I didn't hear much about bipartisanship at that point. In fact, Republicans used the reconciliation process to provide trillions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 1% and large profitable corporations by a simple majority vote. My Republican colleagues pushed through their nominee for the Supreme Court with 50 votes. A few weeks before the election, not one Democrat supported that nominee. Totally partisan vote. Well, as the incoming chair of the Senate Budget Committee, this is what I believe. If Republicans can use reconciliation to help the wealthy and the powerful and pass legislation strongly opposed by the American people, we can and must use reconciliation to help Americans recover from the worst economic and public health crisis in the modern history of our country. In other words, now is the time for this Congress to stand with the working class and the middle class of this country and do what the overwhelming majority of the American people want us to do. Mr. President, it is worth pointing out that poll after poll shows an overwhelming majority of Americans, over 70%, support what President Biden and what we are trying to do. They know we have got to act boldly. So I hope we will not hear much more about bipartisanship, given my Republican colleagues' record on that issue. The people who go to work every day, who keep our country going, who put their lives on the line during this pandemic, and they look at us and they say, does anybody there in Washington, all you rich guys, do you understand what's going on in our lives? Well, this week during this debate, we are not only going to begin addressing the health and economic and educational crises we face, but maybe even more importantly, we're going to begin the process of restoring faith in the United States government. Maybe, just maybe, we can do what Abraham Lincoln talked about in the midst of the terrible Civil War, and that is be a government, act like a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and not just powerful special interests and their lobbyists. What will this budget resolution mean for the average American? I know we're throwing out a lot of numbers, 1.9 trillion, a lot of money. What does it actually mean? How is it going to impact the lives of ordinary people? So let me just say a few words on that. Everybody is concerned about the pandemic. which has taken so many lives and caused so much illness and suffering. What this legislation is about is an effort to aggressively crush the pandemic and enable the American people to return to their jobs and schools by providing the funding necessary to establish a national emergency program to produce the quantity of vaccines that we need. We need to increase vaccine production, and equally important, we need to significantly improve the distribution of vaccines so that we get them into the arms of people as quickly as we can. What this legislation means is that during this severe economic downturn, we must make sure that every American, low-income people, working-class people, middle-class people, have the financial resources that they need to live with dignity. This budget resolution will allow us to keep the promises that we made to the American people and increase the $600 in direct payments for working-class adults and their kids up to $2,000, another $1,400. And Mr. President, I want you just to think, whether it's Connecticut or Vermont or South Carolina or any place else, you think that during this terrible crisis, what it will mean to an average family to suddenly get a check for $5,600 for a family of four on top of the $600 per person that they received a few weeks ago. Think about what that will mean to people who are losing hope right now. Mr. President, as I just mentioned, the overwhelming majority of the American people have told us very loudly and clearly that the $600 direct payment that Congress passed in December was a good start, but is not enough. In this bill, we're going to increase that $600 by another $1,400. We cannot continue to allow workers in America to work at jobs that pay them a starvation wage. In the United States of America, jobs should lift you out of poverty, not keep you in it. So let us be clear. When we increase that minimum wage to $15 an hour, not only will we be providing a much-needed raise for tens of millions of American workers, we will also, by the way, save taxpayers many billions of dollars each and every year. Moreover, Mr. President, this pandemic has caused tens of millions of American workers to lose their jobs through no fault of their own. For 45 consecutive weeks, unemployment claims have been higher than during the worst week of the Great Recession in 2008. This budget resolution that we are considering now will provide the funding necessary to provide 18 million Americans with $400 a week in supplemental unemployment benefits until the end of September. So if you are watching this, you're watching TV now because you're unemployed when you'd rather be at work, understand that this bill will extend unemployment $400 on top of the normal unemployment your state provides till the end of September. We have not forgotten the unemployed. Further, Mr. President, all of us know that we have a child care crisis in America. It was severe before the pandemic. It is even worse now. This budget resolution would begin to provide the resources necessary to provide child care to 875,000 children in America. And it would expand the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,000 and $3,600 for kids under the age of 6. In other words, we hear what working families are going through, especially those who are struggling and have children. This will be a major, major step forward in improving lives and easing anxiety for young couples with kids. This budget resolution that we are debating will provide the funding for rent relief, utility assistance, and mortgage relief to millions of tenants and homeowners who are in danger of eviction or foreclosure. And it also, Mr. President, deals with the shame of homelessness in America. Today, in the midst of the dead of winter, we cannot have hundreds of thousands of Americans sleeping in homeless shelters, in their cars, or out on the streets. And right here, walking distance from this Capitol, there are tents located in parks where Americans are sleeping in the middle of the winter.
So Bernie Sanders says that they are going to be passing the third stimulus check package through the budget reconciliation process or with the reconciliation card. I will keep you up to date with the latest information on the third stimulus check, as well as mortgage and rental assistance and everything else that comes with these third stimulus check packages. Make sure you're subscribed down below if you haven't yet, and share this video with your family and friends so that they know what is going on with the third stimulus check and all the other stimulus package provisions. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.